Hello, and welcome back to Noto Pro. It's the end of the financial year, and as such, it's time to balance the books. This channel is all about transparency. Regular viewers know that I'm chasing an absolutely extraordinary goal. My goal is to make it to the Brisbane Olympics in 6 years' time. As part of my journey, I'm sharing everything from my training, to my failures, to my successes, and also my finances. So the question is, how much did I make from running, and how much did it cost me? Let's start with a brief recap of last year. So last year I made no money whatsoever from running on YouTube or anything other than my day job. I spent $2,849.01. That came in the form of shoes, nutrition, cameras for filming, and a bunch of other stuff. Now, if you watched my other video on the cost, you'll notice that the number I quoted before was higher. In that video, I worked on the calendar year, whereas now we're talking about financial year. And at the tail end of last year I spent a ton of money on flights and races, and that basically makes up the difference. Now this year, let's start with the costs, and I'll go into the income I earned at the end. So the total I spent this financial year was an eye-watering $12,127.62. I'm shocked by how much I spent. That's a bit over $1,000 a month. Now, I'm very grateful that I do have a good job, that I can afford to spend this money, but I would really rather not. But how does that break down? So I spent $943.55 on races. That's the Canberra half, it's the Canberra full marathon, it's the Goulburn half marathon, and the Brisbane half marathon. So that's 3 half marathons and 1 full marathon that I raced. Now, I also paid for a Bateman's Bay half marathon in February, which I didn't end up racing because that was the week. So I got my Achilles injury on the Tuesday, and then the race was the Sunday. So I decided not to do it. So probably for the better, because that was a 3-month injury. I've also paid for Sydney Marathon, which is in the end of August, but I won't be taking part in that. And so I paid for 6 races, 2 full marathons, 4 halves. I paid $1,427.25 on accommodation. Now, that's accommodation for the 2 nights that we stayed in Brisbane, and it's also 2 lots of 1 night where we stayed in Canberra before the Canberra half and the Canberra full. I paid $2,874.27 on flights. That's the flight for my family of 3 to fly to Brisbane for the Brisbane half, and I've also paid for the flights to the next destination of my next full distance, which will happen in April of next year. So I've already prepaid that expense. If you've been following along the running total, if I hadn't done any races and I hadn't done any traveling for races, I would have only spent about $5,245.07. Now, of that $5,200, about $400 relates to Training Peaks, and $1,800 went to ASICS for gear and shoes and such. Which means I spend about $3,000 on sports nutrition. So gels, chews, sports drinks, stuff like protein powder as well. I have a protein shake for breakfast, that's my breakfast, and stuff like creatine as well. And so that's basically the breakdown on my expenses. What about income? Did I make any money this year from running on YouTube? Now, to be clear, I will be 100% returning every single dollar that I earn through this channel on my tax return. Not a single cent will be left off. When it comes to YouTube and ad revenue, unfortunately, I'm not currently monetized. I would like to be, but at the moment, they don't pay me a cent. So if you're not a subscriber, please do. That will help me meet the criteria to start earning an income from YouTube itself, which I can then funnel back into my videos and my training. Next up, we have Patreon, and a massive, massive thank you to my 2 patrons. In the last financial year, I earned $15.79. I've set my lowest supporter tier to about $2 a month, because I don't want cost to be a barrier to anyone that wants to support me financially. Now, I am running full steam ahead towards my goal, and every cent that I earn does go directly towards helping me make better content, towards me being able to travel to different races, showcase them, and, as you've seen, that's not that cheap. So thank you guys so much to all my patrons. Now, finally, I've got my training plans. So I sell on Training Peaks, and I've got a pre-made plan. And last year I made $612.31. If you would like to train in a similar manner to how I do, to follow my sort of training methodology, make sure you check out the description below where I have a link to my Training Peaks plan. Thank you guys in advance if you're interested in that. So that brings the total income to $638.02. And expenses total, as I said earlier, $12,127.62. See, I'm definitely not turning a profit from this endeavor. Maybe one day. Maybe if YouTube, chuck me a few cents, YouTube, give me a few ad revenue. Give me a couple of dollars. Now, thank you guys all so much for watching this far. If you enjoyed this sort of content, make sure you do like the video and subscribe. And I'll make another one next year where I update what happens next year. How much do I earn next year? So if you're interested in that, make sure you stay tuned. And I'll see you guys on the next one.